The fake heiress was about to be hit by a truck. Her brother rushed forward, intending to save her. In my past life, I used all my strength to pull my brother back, preventing him from rescuing the fake heiress. As a result, the fake heiress was crushed by the truck, losing both her legs, never able to dance again, and ultimately took her own life in despair. After burying her, I became the family's sinner for stopping my brother from saving the fake heiress. My brother broke my leg, cursing fiercely. "You heartless beast, how dare you stop me from saving Shinshin?" Mom and Dad slapped me dozens of times, regretting, "We never should have taken you back. Our family only has Shinshin as our daughter. You vicious creature, get out." They refused to treat my injured leg and abandoned me in the mountains to fend for myself. Finally, I was torn apart and died a miserable death by wild dogs. When I opened my eyes again, I had returned to the moment my brother rushed forward to save the fake heiress. This time, I didn't use all my strength to pull my brother back. Instead, I casually grabbed the hem of his clothes and pretended to cry out in anguish, "Brother, don't go." I wanted to stop him, but my brother clearly wasn't listening to me. He resolutely rushed forward and pulled back the fake heiress by Shinshin. Due to inertia, he fell face-first onto the ground, instinctively bracing himself with both arms. He forgot there was a 10-ton truck ahead. There was a blind spot. No way to see anyone. The truck mercilessly ran over him. Amidst my brother's piercing screams, shattered bone fragments mixed with flesh and blood splattered across the ground. His arms had turned into two unrecognizable lumps of mangled flesh. Bai Shinshin was stunned, Father Bai cried, and Mother Bai fainted. As for me, I silently smiled in my heart. Too, in his previous life, my brother rushed forward, trying to save Bai Shinshin. I knew the destructive power of a truck. Light injuries could mean losing limbs, while severe ones could be fatal on the spot. I didn't want my brother to risk his life or future for a fake heiress, so I used all my strength to hold him back. Unable to break free from my grip, he could only watch helplessly as Bai Shinshin's legs were crushed by the truck. His eyes were wide with fury, his heart torn with grief. Hearing Bai Shinshin's agonizing screams, he kicked me square in the chest, sending me flying several meters away. Bai Shinshin's parents, who arrived shortly after, quickly took her to the hospital. Upon seeing the scene, I was left abandoned by the roadside, with no one to care. A kind passerby still gave me a ride. Arrived at the hospital, upon hearing the news that Bai Shinshin had both her legs amputated, I was beaten up by my brother again. At that moment, I regretted stopping my brother from saving Bai Shinshin. Unfortunately, time cannot be turned back. Later, the video of me stopping my brother from saving someone was posted online. I was cursed by countless netizens. I was cyberbullied, doxed, and had rotten eggs thrown at me in person. At school, she was isolated, ostracized, and bullied by all her classmates. During this time, Bai Shinshin woke up and realized her legs were missing, unable to dance anymore. Her dream of becoming the theater's prima ballerina shattered, and she couldn't bear it, ultimately breaking down and taking her own life. That night, her brother wept uncontrollably, wielding a baseball bat. Demanding I pay with my blood, he struck me blow after blow, personally breaking my leg, and cursed me fiercely. "You vile woman, how dare you stop me from saving Shinshin? If it weren't for you, Shinshin wouldn't have lost her legs and ended up committing suicide," tears streaming down my face. I tried to explain to my brother, "I didn't let you save Bai Shinshin because I didn't want you to trade your life for hers. That truck weighed over 10 tons. Under those circumstances, it couldn't possibly break in time. If you had died and I failed to stop you, I'd regret it for the rest of my life. Why can't you understand how I feel?" My brother's eyes turned red as he roared at me. "You'd regret it. Do you think I wouldn't? Watching Shinshin get hit by that car, I couldn't do something so heartless. Besides, Shinshin is the little sister I've doted on since childhood. A cold-blooded monster like you, who's never known the warmth of family, could never understand our bond." I froze in shock. Yes, I was swapped at birth by Shinshin's mother and abandoned at an orphanage. After coming back, my parents either ignored me or looked down on me for being uncultured and petty. They prefer the elegant and graceful fake heiress Bai Shinshin. I was scared and helpless, always keeping my distance, afraid of being in their way. Of course, I couldn't feel their familial affection, nor could I become part of this family. My heart felt as if pierced by needles, the pain cutting deep, but my legs hurt even more. My brother didn't stop until he had brutally broken both of my legs. He left. I cried and begged my father and mother to take me to the hospital. Instead, they slapped me dozens of times and stomped on my injured leg, grinding it forcefully. I screamed in agony. But my parents looked at me with disgust and disdain, saying, "What right do you have to interfere in our family matters? If you hadn't stopped Xiao from saving Shinshin, our family wouldn't have fallen apart. All this talk about considering your brother, I think you're just jealous that Shinshin took your place and want to get rid of her. If we had known it would come to this, we should never have brought you back from the orphanage. Our family has only Shinshin as our daughter. You heartless creature, you should be buried with Shinshin." I was abandoned by the Bai parents in the depths of the mountain forest, left to fend for myself. Wild dogs tore at my flesh, and I died in agony. I'm still recalling what they said. These words are etched in my heart, turning into deep resentment. Given a second chance at life, I've learned my lesson. No longer will I be the cold-blooded, heartless beast they claimed me to be. Fulfill the bond between my brother and our parents. Make your brother trade his 2 arms for Bai Shinshin's 2 legs. I want to see how my brother manages without his arms, when he can't carry anything on his shoulders, lift anything with his hands, or even take care of basic needs like eating, drinking, or using the bathroom. How deep can their familial bond with Bai Shinshin really be? 3. The truck driver got out to check. I hurried over, pretending to be utterly grief-stricken, wailing to my brother, "Brother, you must hold on. I've already called for an ambulance. The doctors will be here soon." Gone was his usual calm composure. My brother's handsome face twisted in agony, racked with pain, hearing my shout. Bai Shinshin snapped out of her daze and moved forward to check her brother's injuries. Hysterically, I pushed her away, tears streaming as I sobbed. "Shinshin, I know my return home has been an eyesore for you, and you resent me stealing your spotlight. As long as it makes you happy, I can endure your beatings and scoldings. I might as well just leave. But the one thing you should never have done was run away in anger, especially onto the road, ultimately harming your brother. If anything happens to my brother, what will become of our family? Mom and Dad only have this one son." Bai Shinshin wanted to defend herself but found herself speechless. She stumbled and fell to the ground as I pushed her. In an instant, her fair thigh was scraped by the broken gravel, drawing blood. As a dancer, her family cherished her legs the most. If it were any other time, daring to treat Bai Shinshin like this would have earned me a slap from her parents. But now, with their beloved son injured, they couldn't care less about Bai Shinshin. No sooner had Father Bai woken Mother Bai than the two threw themselves beside their son, weeping bitterly. "My child, hold on, the doctor is coming soon." Mother Bai wailed heart-wrenchingly, wishing she could bear the pain for her son. Father Bai frowned and silently shed tears. Seeing this scene, Bai Shinshin finally reacted. Shaking her head frantically, "I didn't mean to hurt my brother, it wasn't intentional." She stood up and walked over to Bai's parents, wanting to lean in for comfort and reassurance. Without a word, Bai's father pushed her to the ground. Bai's mother didn't even glance at her, her heart entirely focused on her brother. Before long, medical staff arrived and carried her brother away. In an instant, the flesh and tendons connecting the bones of both arms tore away, stripping away the last shred of dignity. Watching helplessly as he lost both arms, his brother couldn't bear it any longer, let out a piercing scream, and fainted on the spot. The entire family boarded the ambulance in tears. Only the bewildered Bai Shinshin was left behind. She was still wondering why Father Bai had pushed her. Why had her parents' feelings toward her changed in just those short 10 minutes? It wasn't until the car door was about to close that she snapped out of her daze. "Mom, Dad, wait for Shinshin." Bai Shinshin tried to keep up, desperately chasing after the car, even twisting her ankle in pursuit and limping along. Her cries faded into the distance, carried away by the wind. At the final moment when the car door heartlessly closed, Bai Shinshin stumbled and fell to the ground in panic. Bai's parents remained indifferent, simultaneously turning their eyes away, refusing to look at Bai Shinshin. At that moment, I noticed unmistakable resentment in their eyes. 4. My brother was rushed into emergency care. The doctor said his arms couldn't be saved. Upon hearing the news, Mrs. Bai fainted once again. By the time Bai Shinshin had treated her leg and hurried over, the surgery was already completed. Her brother was still unconscious, his two sleeves lying flat on the bed like sheets of paper. The ward was deathly silent. With no one speaking, only the sound of Mrs. Bai's sobs, catching sight of Bai Shinshin at the door out of the corner of my eye, I curled my lips into a smile and walked over to my parents. Mom, Dad, you should at least eat something to keep your strength up. Feigning concern and sorrow, I handed them the food I had bought. They finally looked at me directly, as if after 18 years, they finally realized there was still a biological daughter to rely on in critical moments. However, they had no appetite for food now. Their only son, the heir to the Bai family's company, had lost both arms. How would they manage in the days to come? It was truly distressing. With tears in her eyes, Mrs. Bai pushed the food away and said, "I have no appetite, you eat it, Mr." Bai frowned deeply and shook his head. Standing at the doorway, Bai Shinshin saw me talking to our parents and finally couldn't hold back, timidly calling out, "Dad, Mom, Mr. and Mrs." Bai acted as if they hadn't heard her, merely glancing at her before turning away, each lost in their own sorrow. The deliberate cold shoulder created an awkward atmosphere. Bai Shinshin didn't know what to do. Standing there felt awkward. But leaving didn't seem right either. She could clearly sense her parents' resentment toward her. She had caused her brother to lose both arms. She had done wrong, but it wasn't intentional. Thinking this, Bai Shinshin felt wronged and began to cry softly. Bai's parents clenched their fists impatiently upon hearing the cries. Showing not an ounce of pity, I watched coldly from the side. "Didn't you tell me not to stop my brother from saving Bai Shinshin? Didn't you call me a cold-blooded beast and scold me for meddling? You are such a loving family. What's the matter? Now that your son has gotten his way, why are you blaming your other daughter? So it's not just me. You have a hierarchy of affection for your beloved children too. How ironic." 5. I find it chilling and terrifying. Bai Shinshin cried for a long time until her tears ran dry, yet she received no concern from her parents. Unable to control herself, she continued to sob. "Shinshin, don't cry." Her brother woke up, and his first act was to comfort Bai Shinshin. Mr. and Mrs. Bai excitedly asked him how he was. "I'm fine, Mom and Dad, don't blame Shinshin. It was my own decision to save her." Father Bai and Mother Bai exchanged glances. I raised an eyebrow, watching the drama unfold. It seems my brother hasn't yet realized what losing both arms truly means. "Brother, it's all my fault for being so stubborn and causing you trouble." Seeing the main person defending her, Bai Shinshin ran up to him to confess her guilt. "Little crybaby, are you hurt anywhere?" Bai Xiao examined Bai Shinshin with affection. Bai Shinshin shook her head. "TSK, what a deep sibling bond." I watched from the side. They talked for a long time until late at night, since they still had school the next day. The two reluctantly parted ways. Returning home, Bai Shinshin knew her parents already disliked her, so with full self-awareness, she greeted them briefly and immediately went upstairs. As for me, I was concerned about my parents. I asked the servant to prepare foot-washing water and said to them with concern, "Don't overwork yourselves, this will all pass." My parents nodded, patted my shoulder, and replied, "Yes, you should also go to bed early. The college entrance exam is coming soon, so work hard." In the past, they never cared about my grades. I looked toward Bai Shinshin and Bai Xiao's room. But then again, with both children now unreliable, it's time to change their attitude. 6. In the following days, Mr. and Mrs. Bai hired a caregiver to look after their son. After evening self-study ended, Bai Shinshin and I came to visit. As soon as Bai Shinshin entered, she began recounting amusing stories from school without prompting. He didn't notice at all that his brother was frowning. Legs pressed tightly together, with a pained expression. I knew he needed to relieve himself, but his brother's pride wouldn't allow him to show weakness or vulnerability in front of Bai Shinshin. Since that was the case, I didn't say anything either, just watched him hold it in. Bai Shinshin continued talking about school matters. "We're having our graduation party in 3 weeks. By then, you'll be discharged from the hospital and can attend." As she spoke, her brother suddenly turned over in bed. It seemed he couldn't hold it in any longer. He rushed to the bathroom, trying to take off his pants, but no one was there to help. The sound of trickling urine ran down the pant legs. forming a puddle on the ground. The stench of urine filled the air. Bai Shinshin took a step back. Her disgusted gesture stung her brother. He looked embarrassed and humiliated, quickly urging us to leave. It's getting late, you should go back. Bai Shinshin wanted to explain something, but her brother cut her off. By the way, you're about to take the college entrance exams, so I imagine your study time is tight. Don't come to see me this month. I don't want to hold you back, Aunt Lee. See them out. Bai Xiao made it sound like he was doing us a favor, but the nurse just pushed us out and locked the door. Bai Shinshin knocked on the door a few times, but no one answered, so she turned and left, just as I was about to step away. I heard furious cries and sobs from the ward and couldn't help but laugh in satisfaction. This was just a small incident, yet it already created a rift between the siblings. When he returned home from school, only then would Bai Zia realize what true cruelty meant. 3 weeks later, his older brother was discharged from the hospital and returned home, where a recovery banquet was held for him. At the dinner table, the atmosphere was awkward. Mr. and Mrs. Bai's eyes were filled with heartache. But they dared not reopen their son's wounds. Bai Shinshin seemed oblivious, acting just as she always had, serving her brother more food. Brother, eat more ribs, they're good for your health. She smiled brightly, as if she had completely forgotten what had happened that day. Her brother's face showed no emotion. The nanny tentatively picked up a spare rib and fed it to him. He ate it. The siblings gave each other a way out, saving face for one another. I understand, after more than a decade. There's still some emotional foundation between them, it's just unclear how long this bond can last. I kept eating the dishes. Bai Shinshin seized the opportunity to invite her brother to attend tomorrow's high school graduation ceremony. Brother, just go, the girl you like will be there too. If you don't go, you might never see her again after the college entrance exams. Bai Shinshin kept pestering him, using every possible means of persuasion. Finally convinced my brother, I remained silent on the side. If memory serves, in their past life, Bai Shinshin had attended the graduation party and returned deeply depressed, eventually leading to her breakdown and suicide. Now that their roles are reversed, I'm quite curious about how Bai Xiao will react. 8. In the blink of an eye, tomorrow arrived, and the graduation party performance commenced. In this lifetime, Bai Shinshin's legs weren't broken, and she shone brilliantly on stage as she had always wished. After the performance, the audience erupted into thunderous applause. She came off stage and asked her brother, "How was my dance?" The brother didn't answer, looking towards the stage. Dramatically, the next performance was by his goddess. Please enjoy the duet performance by Class 1's Lin Shi and Li Fuyun. The moment she heard the name, Bai Shinshin instantly fell silent. Li Fuyun is both my brother's archenemy and his love rival. I turned my head to observe Bai Xiao. His jaw was clenched tight, teeth gritted to the point of shattering. If it weren't for saving Bai Shinshin, he should have been the one partnering with the goddess now. At this moment, he must be filled with regret. Someone nearby gossiped, "I heard Lin Shi and Li Fuyun are together. A perfect match, both talented and attractive." The moment my brother heard this, he turned to glance at the two of them, his gaze icy. I shook my head, sighing at the cruelty of adding insult to injury. It seems my brother has not only lost an arm but also his love, but he deserves it. Thinking about how he mercilessly broke my leg in my past life, I can't help but wish for his immediate death. His suffering has only just begun. I plotted in my heart, the show wasn't over yet. But my brother suggested going back. Bai Shinshin called out to him, "Brother, wait a little longer, there's still a social event later. People at school love to spread rumors, it might not be true, don't you want to ask Lin Shi yourself?" My brother was persuaded again. Interesting. Bai Shinshin insisted on dragging her brother along to humiliate himself. After this graduation party, I'm certain that any sibling affection between them is completely gone. 8. Everyone moved to a new location. When they arrived, Bai Shinshin pushed her brother toward the goddess and then vanished. I found a small corner and watched my brother. As soon as Bai Shinshin left, her brother approached Lin Shi, only to be shoved to the ground. Li Fuyun put his arm around Lin Shi's shoulder and arrogantly asked, "What are you doing so close to my girlfriend?" My brother recognized his archenemy and immediately stood up, glaring angrily as he shouted, "You scoundrel, when did she become your girlfriend?" She clearly promised to be with me after the college entrance exams. Li Fuyun, upon hearing the question, poured the red wine over his brother's head. The wine trickled down his cheeks, soaking his clothes and leaving him in a miserable state. Li Fuyun sneered, "You're dreaming if you think she'll be your girlfriend. The moment your arms were crushed by that truck, you lost any right to pursue 1111. By Xiao, never thought you'd end up like this. Must be frustrating. Huh, want to hit me? Too bad. You can't." As he spoke, Li Fuyun slapped his brother's face, very light, but deeply humiliating. The elder brother cursed in anger, spewing every possible insult. Li Fuyun didn't care and laughed heartily. What's the point of just cursing? If you've got the guts, fight back. Why aren't you fighting back? Oh right, you don't have hands. After taunting, he pushed his brother down once again. The classmates stared at the older brother, whispering among themselves, "That's the former heartthrob of the school. It's so sad he lost his arm. But why does he have to come here asking for trouble?" Lin Shi also urged her brother, "Xiao, just go home. It's my fault, but you know very well that with your physical condition, my parents would never allow me to marry you." All kinds of sympathetic, pitiful, and harsh words poured into the older brother's ears like scalding oil. He lay on the ground, looking at everyone present. No one helped him denounce Li Fuyun's excessive actions, not even his once fervent admirers. The shift in their attitude stemmed solely from the fact that he had lost both arms, and at this humiliating moment, Bai Shinshin was nowhere to be found. I shook my head, feeling both pity and disgust. Putting down the wine glass, I knew it was time for me to step in. Playing the video recorded on my phone at full volume, Li Fuyun's arrogant voice echoed across the venue. Everyone present turned to look. "Apologize to my brother, or I'll call the police," I demanded. "Ji Qingyu, who do you think you are?" Li Fuyun sneered when he saw it was me. His tone full of disdain. I remained completely unfazed. Provoking trouble can result in 5 to 10 days of detention. As far as I know, the college entrance exam is in 8 days. If you want your parents to bail you out from the police station, go ahead, you can apologize there then. My finger hovered over the emergency call button on my phone. Li Fuyun saw that I was serious and, fearing the situation might escalate, angrily threw out an "I'm sorry, okay," before leaving with Lin Shi. The other onlookers, seeing the main characters had left, gradually dispersed. I wiped the alcohol off Bai Xiao's head with a tissue, and only then did Bai Shinshin rush over. She anxiously helped her brother up. He shoved her away roughly with his body and said stubbornly, "Get lost." 9. After returning home, he locked himself in his room, refusing to eat or drink. When the maid went to call him, she was met with an angry "Get out, all of you," along with the sound of him kicking the door repeatedly. The maid ran away in fear. Mother Bai personally carried the food upstairs. The food was knocked over by the elder brother, spilling soup all over the floor. Father Bai sternly scolded the elder brother, "Look at yourself, what kind of behavior is this?" The elder brother remained silent. His self-esteem was utterly shattered today. It must feel like his whole world has collapsed. Bai Shinshin comforted him. "Brother, no matter how angry you are, you still need to take care of your health. Please eat something, it's my fault today." She stepped forward, moving closer to her brother, only to be kicked down. Her brother hoarsely accused her, "You heartless thing, if it weren't for you today, I wouldn't have suffered such humiliation." Bai Shinshin was kicked so hard that she was in constant pain and kept wailing. I calmly advised him, "Brother, you should eat something. Mom and Dad love you very much, unlike me, who had my legs crushed by my parents back then and was thrown into the mountains to be devoured by wild dogs. What's the use of loving me? Without my hands, what's the point of living?" My brother retorted sharply. I said to him, "As long as you're alive, there's hope, the family can support you, or do you want to die?" Bai's mother scolded me. "How can you say such things?" Bai's father stopped her. My brother shook his head. "If you don't want to die, then eat," with blunt words. I asked the maid to bring the dishes back. I fed him while my brother ate and cried. Cry now, for the days of crying are yet to come, I thought to myself as I fed him. After he finished eating, Mr. and Mrs. Bai asked me about what had happened today, and I told them everything in detail. Bai Shinshin was scolded and reprimanded again. and even slapped a few times. With her bruised and swollen cheeks, she ran back to her room in grievance. At this point, the sibling bond was completely shattered. With no possibility of reconciliation left. 10. From that day on, Zia resumed eating and drinking normally, but he became increasingly. The room's curtains were drawn, blocking out every ray of sunlight. He never stepped outside, spending entire days lying in bed. Apart from eating, he only slept, his days and nights completely reversed. Sometimes he couldn't even be bothered to call the servants, simply relieving himself right there on the bed. Smearing excrement and urine across the pristine white sheets, along with his clothes, everything became unbearably foul-smelling. When servants came to clean up, if they dared to show any expression, whether it was disgust or not, he would order them to leave. In just 1 week, he went through 18 servants. The more people he came into contact with, the more irritable Xiao became. He is afraid of socializing and going out. He always feels that those people look down on him. Every expression of pity, sympathy, or disgust reminds him of the humiliating disgrace at that graduation party. Consequently, recalling the humiliation inevitably makes him think of who brought it upon him. If it weren't for saving Bai Xinshin, if it weren't for Bai Xinshin taking him to the party, none of this would have happened. Gradually, resentment breeds hatred. Once a person pays a great price for another, they can't help but expect repayment for their kindness. The recipient of kindness must be deeply grateful to compensate for what the benefactor lacks, but Bai Xinshin not only didn't do this, she also made him suffer humiliation. Hatred filled his heart. Whenever her brother saw Bai Xinshin, he would beat her up to vent his anger. Mr. and Mrs. Bai turned a blind eye to this. The servants, who treated people differently based on their status, also began to bully Bai Xinshin. Bai Xinshin was no longer cheerful. She became timid and insecure, transforming from a little princess into a pitiful figure. In a daze, she became me. 11. Doing these things couldn't even begin to quell the rage in his brother's heart. Occasionally, when emotions overwhelmed him, he would smash everything in sight. The violin he had once cherished with such care, its body crushed under his feet, the soundboard shattered, the strings snapped, his beloved racket. He ordered the servant to cut the strings and bend the handle. The gifts from admirers and the doll given by his goddess, along with love letters and personal items, were utterly destroyed by him. Even his school textbooks, the awards and certificates he won from competitions, he directed the maid to tear them apart one by one and burn them to ashes. The entire house was filled with drifting ashes. He experienced boundless pleasure. His parents saw this and slapped their thighs in frustration. They wanted to find something for him to do, to teach him how to manage the company, but his elder brother said, "My hands are useless. I can't even sign my name. What's the point?" He destroyed the company's documents. It was as if he wanted to completely obliterate his former proud self, severing all ties with who he was now. Mrs. Bai watched with worry and heartache. Mr. Bai shook his head, sighing that his son was ruined. Bai Xinshin hid in her room, avoiding any unnecessary humiliation. My brother is trapped in his own world, lamenting the seasons and wallowing in self-pity. During every day and night he cries about the unfairness of fate. I smile and work hard to prepare for the college entrance exam and what comes next. 10. Bai Xinshin and I finished the college entrance exams. My brother was depressed for half a month before finally agreeing to go out and meet friends. Mr. and Mrs. Bai thought he had come to his senses, but unexpectedly, my brother didn't come home for several days in a row. When our parents asked, he just said everything was fine. The next time Mr. and Mrs. Bai heard from him was when they received a call from the police, saying their son had become addicted to substances and needed to be detained. Mr. and Mrs. Bai paid the bail and took their son home. Once home, their son's cheeks were swollen and red. Still being scolded and beaten by Mr. Bai Xinshin and I were sitting on the sofa. My brother saw it and was furious. He kicked Bai Xinshin and said, "You ruined my life. How dare you live so well?" Bai Xinshin fell to the ground, then snapped back to reality. She rushed over, kicked my brother, pinned his legs down, and started punching him left and right. Great kindness breeds great enmity. Decades of oppression had shattered Bai Xinshin. She stiffened her neck, crying as she fought back. "I never asked you to save me. You did it of your own accord. What's it got to do with me? I've had enough of this, ever since the day you lost your leg. You've been targeting me, this damn family." Upon hearing this, Mother Bai slapped Bai Shinshin and angrily scolded, "I always said that a child not born of your own will never be truly close. It's true, you can't raise someone else's child, you raise them, and they turn out to be an ungrateful wolf." Bai Shinshin immediately retorted, "Who cares if you raised me? If you knew I wasn't your biological daughter, why didn't you kick me out right away? You kept raising me only because I was outstanding. You were disgusted to death by your own daughter earlier. You old bastard, weighing the pros and cons. Don't bother driving me out. I'll leave right now." Bai Shinshin stood up and headed toward the door. Father Bai angrily grabbed Bai Shinshin, ready to slap her. "Go ahead and try hitting me. If you do, I'll expose the Bai family's scandals immediately," she threatened firmly. Mr. Bai helplessly let go of his hand and shouted at her, "Get out." "Fine, I'll go. I'll never come back again." Bai Shinshin completely broke ties with the Bai family, taking nothing with her, and ran out of the house. If it weren't for Mr. and Mrs. Bai watching, I must give her a round of applause. 11. After all the commotion, Bai Shinshin left, and her brother refused to come down to eat. The atmosphere in the dining room became awkward. Sometimes, Mrs. Bai deliberately tried to make conversation to show concern for me, and I always played along, keeping her happy. When Father Bai answered the phone and talked about company matters, I would also share my opinions. Thus, in just a few words, Father Bai discovered my business talent. From my past life to this one, it was the first time he praised me. "I never realized you were this smart before. No wonder. Blood ties run deep. You've inherited my skills. You're a natural at business and will surely go far." My hand, holding the chopsticks, paused briefly as I sneered inwardly. I've never been lacking. The competition in the orphanage was fierce, and I was always among the top 10 in the city. Returning to the Bai family made me petty and timid. It was only because I craved your love too much and overvalued those dazzling jewels and jade. As a result, I became starved for affection, insecure, and dimmed my own radiance. No matter, it will never happen again. I accepted the praise gracefully. "Thank you, Father. I'll keep working hard." The atmosphere at the dining table was no longer oppressive. The three of them ate their meal while thudding sounds of someone banging against the wall echoed from upstairs. Brother was having another episode. He had bashed his head until it bled, bitten himself until his body was covered in bloody marks, and screamed for someone to give him a fix. Their parents had no choice but to restrain him and call a doctor to administer a sedative. The doctor examined the symptoms and prescribed a large amount of psychiatric medication, instructing that it be given to my brother at regular intervals. After taking it for a few days, my brother's condition stabilized significantly. Our parents felt relieved. Unexpectedly, at 3 a.m., my brother jumped from the second floor. The servant was startled and called emergency services. At the hospital, the doctor said that the brother had suffered a severe head injury. His emotions became even more unstable, and one of his legs was broken. Lying in the hospital bed, he was still restless, shouting that he wanted to harm and kill Bai Shinshin. Seeing the son's insane appearance, the parents are heartbroken. There are no dutiful sons by a long sickbed, and the same holds true when the roles are reversed. There is no eternal family bond, only eternal interests. They decided to completely give up on my older brother. They began to focus on training me. They took me in and out of the company, taught me about its operations, how to manage teams, plan strategic layouts, expand business, allocate resources, and make decisions. In just over 10 days, everyone concluded that I was the heir to the company. No one ever mentioned my brother again. 11. On the day I received the college acceptance letter, my parents held a celebration banquet for me, inviting guests and finally acknowledging my status. They took me around to greet various CEOs, introducing me to their network. I conversed with them gracefully and elegantly. Waves of mutual compliments flowed, and everyone was in high spirits. Dad, I didn't know about my sister's college celebration banquet today. Why wasn't I invited? Suddenly, the elder brother appeared. At the time, news of his injury was completely sealed off. Not a word leaked out. The executives, seeing him missing both arms yet still looking like he was up to no good, began whispering among themselves, "What are you doing here? Go back. Father Bai frowned tightly, scolding him in a low voice. Son, be good and go home first, Mother Bai urged him. The brother stood still without moving. Seeing my parents in an awkward position, I raised my wine glass. Thank you, brother, for coming to bless me today. Let me toast to you. Bai Xiao froze for a moment, then snapped back to reality. Not wanting to be made a laughingstock, he reluctantly drank the wine. Other executives, seeing this, quickly stepped in to smooth things over. The banquet continued under an eerie atmosphere. After returning home, my brother kicked the sofa askew and harshly interrogated our parents. What do you mean by this? You trash, you scum, I'm ruined, and now you don't want to give me the company anymore, is that it? He roared, raged, and ranted in the living room, cursing his ancestors for 18 generations and hurling insults at his relatives and parents. Mr. and Mrs. Bai's expressions turned completely cold. He himself is ignorant and incompetent, unwilling to learn how to manage the company, and refuses to let others do it either. There is no such absurd logic in the world. They exchanged glances in unison, and the others rushed forward, injecting a sedative into the elder brother's neck before carrying him to bed. When the time came, the nanny had to feed the elder brother his medicine. I told her to give me the medicine, and I would take it upstairs myself. The door opened, and my brother was awake, staring at me with a sinister look. You must be very pleased with yourself today. I smiled and explained, Brother, I didn't mean to compete with you for the company, I just wanted to get in first to assess the situation. Later, I'll be your assistant and help you in the company. My brother was half convinced. Really, I handed him the medicine and water glass to strengthen his trust. Really, as a woman, how could I dare to compete with a man for status? Brother, you must take good care of yourself and show Mom and Dad your determination to recover. That's more like it. My brother obediently took the medicine and swallowed it in one gulp. Closing the door, my expression turned cold. I just want to seize, just want to take. Who says women can't hold power, brother? If you dare covet what is about to be mine, then don't blame me for sending you to hell sooner. 12. The next day, I arrived at the restaurant. Bai Xinshin is performing ballet. Spinning and leaping, her smile radiant and passionate. Clearly she truly loves dancing. When she finished work, I called out to her, let's talk at the cafe. Bai Xinshin followed me, sat down, and kept stroking the cup, extremely uneasy. I calmly said, relax, I'm not here to cause you trouble. I just wanted to tell you that my brother has gone crazy at home, saying he wants to kill you. You'd better run far away. Who knows when he might come for revenge? Bai Xinshin grew anxious. But how can I run without any money? I took out my bank card. Quit your job, here's $1 million. Go, choose a university far from here. Bai Xinshin lowered her head. Why are you helping me? I fiddle with the car keys, pondering how to bring it up. Should I say, seeing her being bullied reminded me of my past self. I wanted to help that weak and helpless version of me. The explanation that finally came out was, the worst thing you ever did to me was just storming out of home in a fit of anger. I don't hold much grudge against you. If any, it's our parents' fault. Compared to you, I hate the other members of the Bai family more. The conversation ended. The next day, when I went back to the place where Bai Xinshin worked and rented, she was already gone. I put on my sunglasses and began the next step of the plan. After taking the medicine for several days, my brother's mental state only grew more frenzied. Images and sounds came through. I heard him crying one moment and laughing the next, muttering crazily and shouting, Bai Xinshin, you ruined me. You cost me my arm. I'm going to kill you. The bathroom glass shattered as he kicked it, the loud crash echoing through the villa. Dragging his injured leg, he paced around the room, gnashing his teeth, his face twisted with rage, blood staining the sheets and walls. When his parents arrived, he was still murmuring and cursing, his voice rising and falling. I will be the company's heir. Whoever stands in my way, I'll kill them. After tending to his wounds, he pressed his face close to Mr. and Mrs. Bai, crying bitterly, Dad, Mom, I will definitely take good care of my injuries. The company must be given to me. The company must be given to me. Understand? With the last sentence, he roared angrily, startling Mr. and Mrs. Bai, who trembled and tried to calm him. We understand. We understand. You should rest now. Bai Xiao got into bed feeling satisfied and continued to mutter, in the middle of the night. He grew thirsty from all the talking and got up to look for water. At this moment, Father Bai was secretly cursing him. Xiao has gone mad, completely useless. If I hand the company over to him, my lifelong efforts will go down the drain. And can he even ensure our livelihood in old age, with the way he is? I'm really afraid he might one day lose it and kill us both. We should send him to a mental hospital, lock him up, only then can I feel at ease, through the surveillance. He saw his brother eavesdropping on their conversation, not drinking water, and returning to his room. The storm is coming, I must prepare for all eventualities. 13. For 3 months, I studied while also exercising. In my free time, I familiarized myself with the company and made decisions, steadily implementing them. After some time, the market responded enthusiastically, and Father Bai, satisfied with his supervision, confidently handed the company over to me. They decided to retire and move abroad for their golden years, never to return. Be happy over there, Mom and Dad, I said, seeing my parents off for the last time, waving excitedly in farewell. But as I expected, before Mr. and Mrs. Bai could even leave the country, they were kidnapped. If you don't want your parents to die, hand over the money quietly. I want 100 million, no police, and you come alone. My brother's chilling threat came through the phone. I tried to calm him down while hiring a private detective to gather information. I don't have that much, only 5 million. I'll do my best to get the rest for you. Don't act rashly, you old bastard. Tell her where the money is. Father Bai trembled with fear. Tell me the safe combination, the bank password, and the locations and methods for accessing all the family assets. Hand everything over to me. Fine, I'll bring it to you in 3 days. After hanging up the phone, he prepared the money. 3 days later, I applied bright red lipstick and boarded the ship alone, the sea wind making my coat flap loudly. I glanced around. No mistakes, only 2 people on the ship, my brother and his lackey. Where are Mom and Dad? My brother grinned and showed me a video. Those 2 old fools were taken care of long ago. You'll never get a father's or mother's love in this lifetime. The hostage has already been killed, saving me the trouble. I nodded in understanding and thanked him sincerely. Thank you. My brother suddenly stood up from his chair. What do you mean by that? Don't be hasty, let's talk this through properly. I calmly pulled up a chair and sat down. I don't like my parents, so it's good that you took care of them for me. Also, our parents signed the equity transfer agreement, amended the company's articles of association, and passed the shareholders' resolution. I'm now the chairman of the company. My brother sneered. Are you saying I solved your problem? And you came here just to show off? I tapped the table. Keep listening. The so-called friend you mentioned was arranged by me. The psychiatric medication was also swapped by me, and the conversation between our parents, I made sure you overheard it on purpose. My brother slammed the table and stood up, looking like he wanted to strangle me. You vicious bitch. Why would you do this? Why frame me? You should die. I spread my hands helplessly, because in my past life, I saved you. But you broke both my legs. What do you mean? My brother asked, startled and uncertain. In our past life, I held you back, stopping you from saving Bai Shinshin, and you lost both arms, yet you cursed me for daring to stop you, calling me heartless, a cold-blooded beast. You said Bai Shinshin was your most beloved sister, and then you broke both my legs. I turned to my parents for help, but they also cursed me, calling me a heartless viper unworthy of being their daughter, and abandoned me in the mountains, leaving me to be torn apart by wild dogs. So in this life, I listened to you, stopped being a cold-blooded beast, and let you have your way. You went mad, our parents died. To be honest, I'm quite pleased. It's all retribution. I emphasized the word retribution with particular force. My brother crouched down, clutching his head. No way, you must be lying. This can't be true, he muttered. Suddenly, he sprang up, his eyes filled with madness. I'll kill you, if you can be reborn. Why can't I? Shoot. Bai Xiao issued the command, but his men were probably too engrossed in the drama. I didn't react in time, so I kicked hard at his wrist, sending the gun flying. I drew my own weapon and acted swiftly. Blood splattered onto my face, and I smirked. My brother still tried to headbutt me to knock me down. Want to fight me without hands? I repaid the kick he gave me in my past life with all my strength. Raising my hand to make his head explode, he died with his eyes wide open. I laughed mockingly. Remember, villains die from talking too much. Hesitation ruins great deeds. Then open the clamp and throw them and the weapons into the sea. After disembarking, find someone to handle the follow-up matters. I sold my company shares, took all the wealth accumulated by Bai's parents over half their lives, and flew abroad. The moment I stepped out of the airport, I put on my sunglasses and strode forward under the blinding, scorching sun, a life of wealth and luxury. Here I come. That's all for the first story. Don't go away, the next story is even more exciting. The college entrance exam results are out. I scored 700 points. On this joyous occasion, Mom announced something. Nyani N, Mom planned this long ago. Your college living expenses will be based on your Gaokao score, since you only scored 700 points. Your monthly allowance in college will be 700 yuan. Later, I threw a marriage certificate in front of my mom. From now on, you don't have to rack your brains trying not to give me money anymore. My husband says he'll take care of me. Nyani N, Mom planned this long ago. Your college living expenses will be based on your Gaokao score. Since you only scored 700 points, your monthly allowance in college will be 700 yuan. After Mom finished speaking, she even took out a calculator to do the math. 700 yuan per month, 5 months per semester, that's 500 yuan. And tuition fees are so expensive, 7,000 yuan a year. Sigh, raising a child really costs a fortune. Before the college entrance exam, my mom promised me that if I scored 700 points, she would give me 500 yuan per month for living expenses during university. Why did she go back on her word again? I cautiously brought up my mom's promise. Mom, do you remember what you promised me? Mom waved her hand impatiently. So what if I remember? Didn't you hear me just now calculating the accounts? Do you want to do the math yourself? How much will your college cost? I'm already giving you 700 yuan. Isn't that good enough? And now you're bringing up promises. Since you were little, haven't you always exchanged your grades for money? That's final. Either you take 700 yuan a month, or you won't get even that. Yes, ever since I was little, if I wanted money, I had to trade it for grades. Elementary school required perfect scores in every subject. Only then would Mom spare me $3, $1 per subject. Keep up those perfect scores. I wanted to go on the spring outing, but Mom refused outright. What spring outing? If you go out to play, you'll lose focus, and your grades will drop. If your grades drop, what will you trade me for money? In middle school, there were 9 subjects. Mom said she would give me 10 yuan for each subject I scored full marks in. But I rarely got full marks, though my total score was quite good. Mom said, what's the use of a good total score? Only full marks in every subject prove you're capable. Don't even think about asking me for money. How dare you have the nerve? High school was just like middle school. Even if I ranked first in my grade, as long as I didn't get perfect scores in every subject, Mom wouldn't give me any money. As I thought about it, my eyes welled up with tears as big as beans rolled down my face, and I asked Mom hoarsely, is a score of 700 not good enough in your eyes? Do you even know how hard it is to score 700? Why do you always break your promises to me? Mom's face turned livid as she slapped me. I can see you're just after money, so what if you scored 700? There are plenty of people in our city who scored higher than you. What are you so proud of? If it weren't for me encouraging you since elementary school by paying you for good grades, you'd never have scored 700, instead of being grateful. You dare ask for more money, you ungrateful brat. Mom vented her anger by hitting me a few more times before taking a deep breath and sitting down on a chair. Dad, who had witnessed the whole scene, poured Mom a glass of water. He turned his head and scolded me. Song Nyanien, your mother is right. To be honest, giving you 700 yuan is already generous. Without your mother, you might have only gotten into a vocational college. Don't think you're so great just because you've read a few books and have higher education than your parents. If it weren't for us, you'd be sweeping the streets after exams, too. The truth is, it wasn't my mother's monetary incentives based on grades that motivated me to study, it was my fear of not performing well. Every time exam results came out, my mother would ask the teacher about my scores in the group chat. If I don't do well on exams, Mom will be waiting for me after school with a clothes hanger. The moment I open the door, her hanger will come down on me. My left arm was once fractured, and Mom would deliberately aim for it. Does it hurt? Good, that'll teach you a lesson. Let's see if you dare to score so low next time. Sometimes Dad would join Mom in hitting me. Little girl, we work so hard to support your education, and these are the grades you get. Why can't you score full marks? By the time I recovered, Mom had already taken a photo of me crying and posted it on her Zairo Hongshu account with the caption, "My daughter knows how difficult our family situation is, yet she still asks me and her dad for a large allowance. We refused, and now she's crying." Mom loves documenting me. Ever since I started first grade, Mom has been sharing her parenting methods on Zairo Hongshu, along with posting my grades. Many people praise me for being smart. Mom is extremely proud. Isn't it because I know how to teach? Anyone interested in my parenting methods, DM me. Paid sharing available. Mom earns a fortune by sharing her parenting techniques. Dad's career is also thriving. Not long ago, our old family home was demolished, and Mom and Dad came into quite a bit of money, but they wouldn't even give me 500 yuan. I took out my phone and clicked on the profile I'd been following for so long. Within 5 minutes of Mom posting, there were already many comments. Most were from parents just like her. How about you just stop giving her living expenses? Kids these days simply don't understand how hard it is to earn money. They just want to stay home acting like princes and princesses. Anyway, I've already decided not to give my child any living expenses. She's got hands and feet. Let her earn her own money. What right does she have to cry? Was it easy for you to raise her? She hasn't even started earning money yet, but she's constantly asking for it. What an ungrateful brat. Parents with kids like this really have it tough. Hey, isn't that Song Nyani En? Wasn't she ranked 10th in our city? I'm in the same class as her. She's such a good student. Who would have thought she'd be someone who doesn't know how to save her parents' money? The post was shared in our class group chat, and classmates started questioning me one after another. At Song Nyani En, is everything your mom said true? Song Nyani En has always been such a well-behaved girl. Could her mom be making things up? Making things up? My mom taught me since childhood that parents are always right, so I believe what Song Nyani En's mom said, and just like that, my reputation as a top student in class turned into that of a moneygrubber and an ungrateful wretch who doesn't understand her parents' struggles. Even the teacher taught me, while achieving good grades. Your character must also be good. These days, no family finds it easy to make money. Amidst a sea of negative comments, there was one that stood up for me. Don't attack this girl without knowing the full story. With just one picture, anyone can fabricate any narrative. Harsh words hurt hearts. So let's not speak hurtful words thoughtlessly. However, that comment was deleted by my mom. Mom scolded angrily. Still hurting people with harsh words. Dare to question your parents. Are you out of your mind? 3. I searched for a long time before finding the owner of the account that spoke up for me. It was Peng Minute, who sat behind me in my senior year of high school, a girl with very low presence. Once when my mother hit me so hard that bruises appeared on my hands, the next day she brought me ointment to apply. Do your parents hit you too? Use this medicine. It's very effective. Every time my parents hit me, I use this. I noticed the bruise at the corner of her mouth and her swollen face. At that moment, we felt a deep mutual understanding. I contacted Peng Minute. Thank you. Peng Minute only replied with a few sentences. Is your mother spreading rumors about you? Why are you letting her spread rumors about you? Others helping you won't work. You have to help yourself. I've already fought back, and it worked. At most, I suffered a bit, but at least they're afraid of me now. Yes, I have to help myself. Late at night, when my mother fell asleep, I secretly took out her phone, deleted all the posts about me, and even sent a long message in her tone, exposing everything my parents had done over the years. Mom woke up to find her account flooded with vicious insults and started hitting me frantically. Those works were years of my hard work. Do you understand? I made money by posting you. Look at the nonsense you've been sharing. Now they're saying my parenting methods are problematic, that I'm corrupting other parents and harming their children. So many people are demanding refunds. Do you have any idea? Oh, so I was just Mom's money-making tool all along. But I don't regret it, because my classmates came to apologize to me, and a group of people stood by my side condemning my parents' actions. Mom's internet account became unsustainable. She deleted the account. Song Nyani En, you heartless ingrate. You don't know what's good for you. I've lost my source of income. Your living allowance must be cut by 200 yuan. I'm so furious. The internet is full of people cursing me and your dad. Your dad is still running his business. If no one wants to work with him, you'll be left with nothing. 500 yuan is enough. I can take on a part-time job to support myself. It was my first act of defiance. And sure enough, Mom and Dad were intimidated. The price I paid was also minimal. I couldn't wait to share it with Peng Minute. Peng Minute said, parents like them won't give up easily. I hope you can fight back every time. On the day I left for school, my mom stuffed a lot of high school books into my suitcase. Remember to study. You still need to work hard in college. I heard your university has exams. Right, here's what we'll do. I'll cut your living allowance by another 100 yuan first. If you do well on your finals, I'll add 50 yuan back. I'll have to do the same as before, make you earn your allowance through grades. Otherwise, you might just squander the hard-earned money from me and your dad. I took out the books she had packed in my suitcase. One by one. College doesn't teach high school material. Oh, I almost forgot, you've only graduated from middle school and never been to college. This line was also my counterattack. Mom never liked reading. She found knowledge dull and boring, so she dropped out early. Yet she harbored the delusion of molding me into a top student. Jiang Nyani En, you, another 100 yuan deduction from your allowance. I'm only giving you 300 yuan now. How dare you rebel, if you can't make ends meet? Don't come crying to me saying you were wrong. Mom, was I wrong? Can't handle hearing your flaws pointed out at home. Have you forgotten how much you enjoy embarrassing me by sharing my humiliations in front of others? For, I thought Mom would either scold me harshly or distance herself after what I said. But I underestimated her. She followed me to my university. As soon as we entered the dorm, she started looking around everywhere and even touched my roommate's belongings. I've seen this hair clip before, seems like it's from some English brand, right, TSK, not focusing on studies but wasting time on useless accessories. Song Nyani En, you mustn't end up like her. And this, oh my, these high heels must cost thousands. Another spoiled brat. None of them are here for university. They're here for a fashion show. Nyani En, you can't be friends with these people. It's just outrageous. The more Mom went on, the darker my roommate's expression grew. Mom patted my shoulder and whispered in my ear, Song Nyani En, you really enjoy opposing me, don't you? Well, I won't make things easy for you either. Mom knew her actions would make my life in the dormitory difficult, but she did it anyway. My heart raced, and I could hardly resist the urge to fight with her right then and there, but doing so wouldn't bring me any advantage. After Mom left, my roommate Fang Yingqiu curled her lips. Song Nyani En, your mom did that on purpose, didn't she? She's sharp. Hit the nail right on the head. I know your mom. I've seen her account on Zyro Hongshu. Her parenting style is clearly problematic. That whole scene she just made was obviously meant to make your dorm life miserable. Did you offend your mom again somehow? I'm not very familiar with Fang Yingqiu, so I don't dare to reveal too much to her. Fang Yingqiu pushed aside her heavy bangs and showed me the scar on her eyebrow bone. Isn't it ugly? My mom did it. Her way of educating me is also problematic. She thinks she's doing it all for my own good, and if I go against her, this is what I get. Don't think my shoes and clothes are expensive. I bought them all myself, ever since I started high school. I've often taken on part-time jobs and worked during winter and summer breaks because my mom believes that children who are self-reliant will succeed. I'm not chasing after high prices. I just want to make myself look less pitiful. It turns out I'm not the only one in this world with a terrible family. There are many people like me, suffering in pain. I let my guard down and opened up. The other two roommates were very empathetic, and soon their eyes were red. I pretended not to care and smiled. Alright, I'm used to it. My roommate Li Yun choked up and said, Nyani En, you talk about your experiences as if they're a joke. But we don't find it funny at all. We feel for you. Shuku quickly followed up. Are grades really that important? Your mom is just too terrifying, making you trade your grades for money. If you don't do well, she beats you so badly. The next second, my mom sent a voice message. I'll just play it out loud. Song Nyani N, from now on, you have to video call me for 3 hours every day. During those 3 hours, I'll be supervising your studies, to make sure you follow through. I won't give you your living expenses for now. Once you've done it, I'll give them to you. Fang Yingqiu's mouth fell open. Your mom is way too harsh. Fortunately, I already have a plan. She tried every way to give me less money, and now she's simply not giving me any. All because she's waiting for me to go back to the way I used to be, letting her control everything. Does she really think I have no way out? I bought a fake marriage certificate online and sent a photo of it to my mom. From now on, you don't have to rack your brains trying not to give me money anymore. My husband says he'll take care of me. Instead of waiting for my mom to come and settle the score with me, I ended up waiting for a post that would ruin my reputation. 5. Somehow, my mom managed to add our school's campus social media account on WeChat. She submitted a post to the campus wall. My daughter just turned 18 and has already gotten a marriage certificate with someone. I suspect she has gone down the wrong path. Her name is Song Nyani N, from class 1 of the medical department. Does anyone have any suggestions on how I can get my daughter to divorce? As a mother, I'm at my wit's end. The fact that she rushed into marriage like this probably means she's pregnant. I thought, right. Mom still can't break her nasty habit of spreading rumors. When I was little, I envied other girls wearing princess dresses and begged her to buy me one, even the cheapest one. Mom immediately started spreading rumors about me. At such a young age, you already know how to dress up and seduce men. A princess dress. Don't even think about it, you ugly duckling. The rumors spread throughout the school. Many people found out which class I was in and would occasionally glance at me, even discussing me right in front of my face. Want to bet on how many months pregnant she is? Oh, what's the point of betting on that? If we're betting, let's bet on whether she'll have an abortion or not. Getting pregnant right after turning 18. That's impressive. I met their gazes and curled my lips into a smile. Idiots. How can I get married when I'm not even of legal age? Besides, I'm on my period right now. Pregnant women don't have periods, do they? If you don't want your brain, just donate it tilde. Then, without any rush, I posted the fake marriage certificate on the campus forum. Mom, you really love spreading rumors about me. I just sent you the cover of a marriage certificate. And you immediately jumped to the conclusion that I'm pregnant. Actually, this marriage certificate is fake. There's nothing inside, and it seems you've forgotten one important detail. Girls under the age of 20 can't even register for a marriage certificate. Mom fell right into the trap I had carefully set. Mom was afraid her reputation would be ruined and that she would be accused of spreading rumors about her own daughter. She cried, made a scene, and even threatened to take her own life. Finally, the principal assured her that the matter would not be allowed to spread, but whenever Mom appeared at the school, people would stare at her. What was she thinking? Spreading rumors about her own daughter. Keep your voice down, be careful, or she might start spreading rumors about you too. You don't want to catch her attention. My mom has double standards. She doesn't allow others to speak ill of her, but she permits them to speak ill of me. She thinks she's perfect and never makes mistakes. In her eyes, I am her flesh and blood, the daughter she worked hard to bring into this world, and I shouldn't contradict her. Otherwise, I am in the wrong. Mom retorted to those people. What are you all talking about? I'm just afraid my daughter might really go astray. What did I do wrong? You're not mothers. So you definitely don't understand me. For this matter, Dad blamed me. Why did you randomly send a fake marriage certificate for no reason? Your mother is just anxious. Look at how many people go astray every year. If it were real, those rumors would have woken you up. If it's fake, then take it as a lesson to remember, so you won't dare deceive your mother again next time. Your mother is already 50 years old and still has to endure the scornful looks of others. Song Nyani N. I order you as your father to kneel down immediately and apologize to your mother. When dealing with people he does business with, Dad is very respectful and polite, but when facing me, he can't wait to show off all the authority of being a father. I replied to my dad, a mediocre middle-aged man finally gets a taste of power through his child. My dad was so angry he couldn't sleep. 6. My parents discussed it for a long time and felt that I had grown too independent. Gradually slipping out of their control, they unanimously decided not to give me living expenses. Mom said, Nyani N, perhaps if you were more obedient, things wouldn't be like this. If I were obedient for a lifetime, I would be destroying myself. Not giving me living expenses is no big deal. Fang Yingqiu is the part-time queen, always able to find a bunch of part-time jobs. She referred me to a bubble tea shop owner's WeChat. The owner pays me 20 yuan per hour and tells me to work hard. When Mom found out I was working at the bubble tea shop, she didn't make a fuss. She just came and bought a cup of bubble tea. I didn't want to sell it to her, scared that she would make a scene. I resignedly handed her the finished milk tea, and she quickly left. Less than 2 minutes later, my mom came storming back with the opened milk tea. "Where's your boss? Get out here, there's a hair in this milk tea. How disgusting. Who made this cup of milk tea?" The milk tea shop wasn't busy today. I was the only one there. This cup of milk tea could only have been made by me. Mom is definitely targeting me. The boss was very calm, as if he was used to such scenes. "What if you're just trying to get free milk tea? Do you dare to go with me for an appraisal? If the results show that it's really our employee's hair, I'll compensate you." Mom was very certain. "It's absolutely Song Nyanien's hair. I'll go with you for the appraisal. But if the results show that it really is Song Nyanien's hair, I don't want compensation, I want something else." The boss agreed. The results came out 3 days later. That strand of hair was indeed mine. The boss, upholding fairness, checked the surveillance footage. Every time I work, I wrap my hair up tightly, so it's impossible for any strands to fall into the milk tea. The boss couldn't explain it either. Where did the hair in my mom's hand come from? I took a deep breath. "Mom, you're trying to sabotage my job, aren't you?" The boss looked at me, then at my mom. "If you have any issues with the child, just talk it out. Why come to the store to cause trouble for the child?" The mother took out a loudspeaker and started shouting, "Come and see, everyone. There's hair in the milk tea at this shop. Don't come here to drink." The boss keeps protecting this employee and doesn't care about the customers at all. "Boss, didn't you promise me that if the test results matched what I said, you would agree to my request? I'm now asking you to fire this employee. Why can't you do it? This milk tea shop is very popular, and the milk tea is delicious. The owner's family member is sick, and recently the milk tea shop's profits have been covering the medical expenses. The owner reluctantly fired me. Nyani Yen, I'll pay your wages." "Your mother." I thank the owner. "Thank you for letting me have enough to eat for a while. I wish your business prosperity. I won't involve you in my mother's matters." After I was fired, my mother told me, "The hair was swept out from under your bed while I was cleaning. I just wanted to cause you trouble. I've thought about it. I can give you a little living expenses, and you go back to school. Your father doesn't want you working part-time and embarrassing him." I raised my voice. "Mom, how much is a little living expenses?" Mom glared at me. 600 yuan. Song Nyani Yen. 600 yuan is enough. Don't push your luck. 7. Before I could argue with her, she took out her phone and showed me a recent photo of Grandma. "Your grandmother is seriously ill. She loves you very much. Do you want to go see her? From now on, if you listen to me obediently, I will arrange for you to meet your grandmother. On your own, you won't be able to find out which hospital your grandmother is staying in." Song Nyani Yen. "Can you listen to your mother like you used to? Your grandmother is really very sick, and she might pass away at any moment. Grandma, the grandmother who loved me so dearly, has fallen seriously ill." "Yes." My lips trembled, and I couldn't bear to imagine life without her. I reverted to my old self. My mother gave me 600 yuan a month for living expenses, but it wasn't enough. To distract myself from the hunger, I forced myself to focus on studying. At the end of the semester, I didn't fail any subjects, and my grades were pretty good. Mom increased my allowance by 50 yuan. "Nyani Yen, Mom made a life plan for you. Promise me that you'll follow the plan I've laid out for your future." "Okay, if you don't agree, that's fine too. I'll cut your allowance, and if you get a job, I'll make trouble for you. If you starve to death, you won't get to see your grandmother anymore." With every word Mom spoke, her voice grew harsher. "Nyani Yen, Mom is doing all this for your own good. Study hard in college, and after you graduate, go take the civil service exam. The daughter of your dad's friend took the exam and now works in the public sector. It's very stable." I clutched the schedule tightly. "I'll do whatever you say. Can you take me to see Grandma now?" Mom held my hand. "Not yet. Mom has a gift for you. Don't you love cute plush keychains? I bought one for you." Mom hung the charm on my backpack, but all I could think about was Grandma's pale face. "Nyani Yen, Let Mom check your loyalty. It wasn't until the new semester that I truly understood what Mom meant by those words. Fang Yingqiu asked me in the dorm, Nyani En, why have you started listening to your mom again? I gripped the pen so hard that I snapped it in two. My mom is using my grandmother to threaten me. My grandmother is seriously ill, and my mom won't tell me which hospital she's in. She said I have to obey her completely before she'll take me to see my grandmother. I really have no choice. My grandmother is the only one in our family who treats me well. I vented like crazy, saying a lot of bad things about Mom and a lot of bad things about Dad. Mom came to my dorm and slapped me several times. Song Nyani En, I heard everything. Is this how you talk about your parents in front of your roommate? Is it wrong for Mom to want you to succeed and pave the way for you? Nyani En, Mom is so tired. You don't listen. And both your dad and I are so troubled. Maybe Mom's way of educating you was really wrong. But didn't you still get into a first-tier university? Nyani En, you are not a mother. You are not in your mother's situation. You don't understand why I must make you successful. I cry every night. When I hear you speak ill of me, it hurts even more. Mother spoke with tears streaming down her face. By the end, she had no strength left and collapsed to the ground. Then tell me, why are you so insistent on forcing me to become successful? 8. To this question, Mom couldn't come up with an answer. She stood up, leaning on the table, and said, Come on, I'll take you to see your grandmother. After you see her, don't let me down. Grandma was receiving treatment at the best hospital in the province. When she saw me, Grandma's face lit up with joy. Nyani En, you're here. Grandma missed you so much. I heard from your mom that you got into a top-tier university. Once Grandma gets better, I must go see Nyani En's school. Grandma hasn't achieved much in this life, but as long as my precious granddaughter succeeds, that's enough for me. Grandma held me in her arms. My uncontrollable tears betrayed me. Grandma seemed to read my mind, and she called out to me softly, Nyani En. Is the pressure from studying too much, or is someone bullying you? Tell Grandma, and I'll stand up for you. Grandma started coughing violently because she was so angry. After Grandma had calmed down, Mom cleared her throat, signaling for me to go out with her. Once we were out in the hallway, Mom lowered her voice. Did you see that? Your grandma is really weak now. Don't say anything you shouldn't, and don't tell her I've been mistreating you. She gets worked up easily and starts coughing. The doctor warned me not to upset your grandma. I've taken you to see your grandmother. You must keep your promise to me, study hard, and after graduation, take the civil service exam. I said goodbye to my grandmother and returned to school. My mother's schedule requires me to wake up at 6 a.m. And aside from mealtimes, I must study all day. I have to keep studying until midnight. Mom also signed me up for various competitions, if I wasn't familiar with the competition topics. Mom would enroll me in tutoring classes. It's almost laughable to say, but my college life was more exhausting than high school, and I studied even more. I took more remedial courses in college than I did in high school. After Dad found out I was actively studying and participating in various competitions, he became much kinder. Nyani En, even though you're a girl, it's good that you're willing to study and haven't let me down. I'm betting everything on you. So you have to make me proud. My classmate's son even bought him a sports car. Work hard, and in the future, buy me a luxury car and a villa. I just felt that this man was so hypocritical. The moment I slacked off, he would criticize me in every way possible. I've always said that girls aren't suited for studying. It would be better for you to get married. I can introduce you to someone from a wealthy family who can help me out a lot. But every time I work hard and win an award, he becomes a different person. Nyani En, Dad wasn't wrong about you. In my sophomore year, I participated in provincial competitions and won several awards. My parents had already increased my living expenses to 1,000 yuan. In this city where every inch of land is worth its weight in gold, I finally had a chance to catch my breath. Mom beamed with joy. Nyani En, your excellence has brought me so much comfort. I'm not a useless person anymore. Now I can proudly tell everyone that I raised my daughter very, very well. They became the version of themselves that loves me. But once I tried to bring up the idea of not taking the civil service exam, my parents instantly exploded. They said in unison, "No way." Dad reverted to his strict demeanor. "How can you not take the civil service exam? Huh. Many of my friends' children have already passed the exam and secured positions. You must keep up with the crowd. During the holidays, everyone brags about their children, but I can only say you're still in college, and once you graduate, you'll take the civil service exam. I've already said it. You don't want to embarrass your dad, do you? Mom transferred me 50 yuan. Song Nyani N, you think you don't have enough money, right? Here, I'm giving it to you. 50 yuan is already a lot. Study hard. Listen to your dad, and listen to me too. Oh, I think I understand something now. 9. During the summer of my sophomore year, my parents suddenly suggested that I put my studies aside and focus on dressing up. My mom transferred a few hundred yuan to me, telling me to buy some clothes and new shoes. It was the first time I wore a skirt, and for the first time, my mom didn't spread rumors about me. My parents took me to meet someone my own age. His name is Young Fan, the elder. His father took the initiative to toast Young Fan, the younger, saying, "Young Fan, this is my daughter. I know you're very successful and in high demand in business now, but my daughter is no slouch either. She plans to take the civil service exam right after graduation. She's very capable too. I have one condition. If you and Nyanien hit it off, you must help me out. My business has been facing some difficulties lately." My mother also took my hand, trying to place it in Young Fan's, but he pulled away in disgust. "I thought you were here to discuss business, but I didn't expect you to try and set me up with Song Nyanien. You've miscalculated. I already have a girlfriend." Mom grew anxious. Feelings can change. Our Nyanien is really not bad. She participated in many competitions in college and won awards left and right, and she even got into a top-tier university. Young Fan coldly refused. "I'm sorry, but I only like the person I love. I won't change my heart." After Young Fan left, Dad looked at me with venom in his eyes. "Song Nyanien, it must be because you're not good enough that Young Fan doesn't want you. It seems you still have a lot more to learn. Chen Lemay, you continue to supervise Nyanien's studies immediately. By the end of the year, I will arrange another meeting with Young Fan. If he still doesn't take a liking to our daughter by then, we'll..." The rest of the words, Dad didn't say out loud. As for Mom, her expression went through 1,000 changes. She assured Dad, "Adao, don't worry, I will make our daughter more and more outstanding. Because it's summer vacation and I can't go back to school for classes, my mom hired a tutor for me. The person teaching me is also a college student." She was utterly shocked. "You're already in college, and you still need tutoring. Your parents are really something." I didn't say anything. One evening, I suddenly heard the sound of an argument coming from my parents' room. Chen Lemay. Nyanien's competition ranking from the other day actually dropped to second place. "Is this how you supervise her as a mother?" Song Haitao, "I've been doing my best to nurture our daughter. What more do you want from me? Haven't you pushed me enough over the years? Search your conscience. Isn't our daughter already outstanding enough among her peers?" Dad smashed a lot of things. "Not enough, far from enough. She can be even better." My guess seems to be slowly being confirmed. I called my grandmother, whom I rarely contact, and her first words were to scold me. "Worthless girl, why are you calling me? Your father always wanted a boy, but your mother gave birth to you and insisted that a girl could be just as good as a boy. What nonsense. If it weren't for your father's poor health, they could have had another child long ago. You useless burden. You're completely worthless. You can't even help your father a little." After hanging up the phone, I walked to my parents' room door and placed my hand on the doorknob. Their argument had reached its most intense moment. 10. Chen Lemay, I never should have married you in the first place. Before my father had even finished speaking, I opened the door to the room. Song Nyanien, who gave you permission to open your parents' bedroom door without asking? Have you forgotten all sense of manners? Ignoring my father's words, I turned to my mother, who was wiping away her tears. "How much longer will it take for you to wake up? To what extent are you willing to go for this man? How much longer will you keep hurting your daughter for his sake?" My mother stopped crying. "That's right, I know everything." Dad frowned and said, "Song Nyanien, what nonsense are you talking? I've raised you for nothing." I put my hands behind my back, pretending to stay calm. "Mom, all these years, you've always made me trade my grades for money, forcing me in various ways to achieve excellent results just so Dad can have something to be proud of. Right, Dad is actually someone who favors sons over daughters. He thinks daughters are useless. Several times, he wanted to divorce you because I'm a girl. right, Mom stood as still as a stone. But tears welled up in her eyes once again. I took out a phone. It was Mom's old phone. Mom's old phone was left in my room. Her phone screen was lit up. The memo on it clearly read, "I cannot leave my lover. Marriage is important to me. He likes sons, and it's all my fault for giving birth to a daughter. My lover always talks about how outstanding other people's sons are. I will prove to him that our daughter can be outstanding too. Mom, whether a child is a boy or a girl is determined by the father. And one more thing. Is it really worth it for you to do so much for Dad? I am already covered in wounds. I scored 700 points, and you think I'm not good enough because Dad's friend's son scored 720? Dad is even more convinced that girls are inferior to boys. You controlled my living expenses in college, all to force me to study harder and become more outstanding. I participated in various competitions, studied until I couldn't sleep, but Dad is never satisfied, and neither are you. Let me tell you, no matter how successful I become in the future, this man will always look down on me just because I'm a girl. No matter how much you nurture me, it's useless. Deep down, he despises women, despises you, and despises me. Dad took off his belt and was about to hit me. Nyanien, is there a child who speaks of their father like that? I'll beat you to death. Mother stood in front of him. Nyanien, go. There are some things that I will handle. It was the first time she had protected me when father was hitting me. I am not moved, for the sake of love. She deeply hurt her own daughter. For the sake of a man who wasn't worth it, she almost turned her daughter into a learning machine. I will not forgive her, and I certainly won't forgive Dad. 11. Mom suffered for a long time and eventually divorced Dad. Dad promptly and cleanly divorced her without any hesitation. Chen Lemay, I've long been disgusted with you. Look at your slovenly appearance. How can you compare to young girls? I stopped liking you long ago, let alone the daughter you gave birth to. Before you got pregnant, you were somewhat attractive, but after your pregnancy, you became so ugly I couldn't bear to look at you. After leaving the Civil Affairs Bureau, Mom furiously hit Dad, scratching his face until it was covered in marks. Isn't Dad concerned about his business? I directly wrote an article, denouncing Dad's actions. I want to tell everyone how disgusting this man is. With the help of my roommate, the article I wrote was widely read, and Dad's true nature became known to everyone. No one looked up to Dad. He became a scumbag that everyone wanted to beat up. Mom took out the money she had saved over the years and transferred it to me, saying, Nyanien, study hard, don't end up like me, marrying a man like this. Mom regrets it. For the sake of a man, I've let you down like this. I'm too ashamed to face you. Nyanien, I shouldn't have hit you. I shouldn't have withheld your money. I shouldn't have hurt you. I quietly listened to her finish speaking. You don't need to try to please me. No matter what, there will always be a barrier between us. Even if you have your reasons, you truly hurt me. The news even reported on how Dad favored sons over daughters and despised his wife after she gave birth. Dad never saved money. Mom always managed his finances for him. Without his mother, his money was quickly spent. His father chose to go home and live off his parents. Grandma's savings were spent by his father, seeing that his father had no intention of earning money. Grandma was so angry that she died. Before she died, she called me, Nyanien, it's all Grandma's fault. Can you take care of Grandma? I can't count on your father anymore. I don't have a grandma. What are you talking about? I don't understand what you mean. This is something Grandma said to others when I was a child. When Mom and Dad brought me back to our hometown, she looked down on me and would tell everyone, this is not my granddaughter. In this lifetime, I only acknowledge grandsons. I finally gave those words back to her. After Grandma passed away, there was no one left to give Dad money to spend, and he became a completely different person, starting to curry favor with me. Our Nyanien is truly amazing, getting into a top-tier university. It's all my fault for not being content. Nyanien, you'll take care of Dad, won't you? I slapped him across the face. This slap is for Mom, and it's for me too. My dad is already dead. A few days after I said that, my dad really died. He was killed in a car accident. No one went to see him. 3 years later, I managed to get into one of the world's top few hundred companies. My mom occasionally sends me messages asking how I'm doing, but I never reply, or only do so occasionally. I don't care about anything except news from my grandmother. This is just fine. maintain a sense of boundaries. After all, my heart still aches a little whenever I think of the past. However, I will soon let go of the past memories, nurture myself all over again, and let myself enjoy a beautiful life.